Silence for silence, strikes for strikes. Zelenskyy says Ukraine will mirror Russia as Putin announces Easter truce. This YouTube channel does not promote any violent or any illegal activities. All content provided by this channel is only for educational purposes. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy declared it will mirror Russia's actions, following the announcement of an Easter ceasefire by his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. Zelenskyy wrote on, "If Russia is now suddenly ready to truly engage in a format of full and unconditional silence, Ukraine will act accordingly, mirroring Russia's actions. Silence in response to silence, defensive strikes in response to attacks." He also proposed the truce could be extended beyond the Easter day should a complete ceasefire take hold. This, the Ukrainian leader said, would reveal Russia's true intentions. Zelenskyy explained, 30 hours is enough to make headlines, but not for genuine confidence-building measures. 30 days could give peace a chance. He also called out Moscow for not responding to his initial corresponding proposal for a 30-day full and unconditional truce. Moscow, Zelenskyy said, manipulates well, and therefore, words coming from there are not to be trusted. For this, he pointed to what he described as Russia's ongoing assault operations on several frontline sectors. Putin's ceasefire announcement comes at a time when the United States has warned it could walk away from its push to broker a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, unless there is some progress soon. Zelenskyy wrote a message of unity and faith on the occasion of Easter Sunday, as he accused Russian forces of breaching a temporary ceasefire, earlier declared by Russian President Vladimir Putin. "Evil may have its hour, but God will have his day," Zelenskyy posted on X. In the post, he invoked the suffering and resurrection of Christ to inspire hope for peace and victory. May evil's hour end. May the day of life arrive, the day of peace, the day of Ukraine, the day that lasts for centuries, he wrote. In some areas, Russia is still continuing isolated attempts to advance and inflict losses on Ukraine, Zelenskyy wrote on Sunday, citing a frontline report from Commander-in-Chief Zelenskyy. Zelenskyy reiterated that Ukraine had proposed a 30-day ceasefire extension, which remains on the table. He stressed that Kyiv would continue to act based on the actual situation on the ground. The Ukrainian president also warned against trusting Moscow's ceasefire promises, noting Russia's previous rejection of Kyiv's offer for a full, unconditional truce. Putin had attended an Easter service in Moscow just hours after announcing the ceasefire. However, there were no details from the Kremlin on how it would be enforced or monitored, and Russian officials in occupied Kherson accused Ukraine of violating the truce. Soldiers and civilians on both sides remain skeptical. AFP quoted Ukrainian frontline soldiers who doubted the sincerity of Moscow's truce, while some Russian civilians felt there was no need for restraint. Despite the clashes, Easter Sunday saw a rare exchange of prisoners of war. As per AFP, 246 soldiers were swapped on each side in a UAE-mediated deal, bringing the total number of returned Ukrainian POWs to 4,552. In his address, Zelenskyy underlined Ukraine's ongoing fight for peace and freedom, saying, "We are united in this. We fight for Ukraine together, and we pray for Ukraine together." The corresponding proposal for a full and unconditional 30 days ceasefire has gone unanswered by Russia for 39 days. The United States made this proposal, Ukraine responded positively, but Russia ignored it. If Russia is now suddenly ready to truly engage in a format of full and unconditional silence, Ukraine will act accordingly, mirroring Russia's actions: silence in response to silence, defensive strikes in response to attacks. If a complete ceasefire truly takes hold, Ukraine proposes extending it beyond the Easter day of April 20th. That is what will reveal Russia's true intentions. Because 30 hours is enough to make headlines, but not for genuine confidence-building measures. 30 days could give peace a chance. As of now, according to the Commander-in-Chief reports. Russian assault operations continue on several frontline sectors, and Russian artillery fire has not subsided. Therefore, there is no trust in words coming from Moscow. We know all too well how Moscow manipulates, and we are prepared for anything. Ukraine's defense forces will act rationally, responding in kind. Every Russian strike will be met with an appropriate as tensions remain high between Russia and Ukraine. President Zelenskyy has made it clear that Ukraine will respond to Russia's actions in kind, silence for silence, and defensive strikes for attacks. While President Putin has announced an Easter truce, Zelenskyy remains cautious, emphasizing that genuine peace requires more than temporary headlines. He calls for an extended ceasefire, urging Russia to prove its intentions through lasting action. Amid ongoing skepticism, both sides exchanged prisoners, offering a rare moment of hope.